Namaste everyone. I Dhananjay Gupta welcome you all on behalf of Hindu Center of Atlanta. Today we have joined together for our weekly program for kids and young youth. We are joined for the series Sanatan Dharm Simplified. In this program we learn Vedic mantras and their meaning, and participants read a story and we learn the morals from the story. We are fortunate to have Acharya Brahm Devji amongst us joining from Mauritius. Over to Acharya ji.
Om Namaste, everybody. Let's bring our mind to focus. Sit down straight with the body totally relaxed. Close the eyes gently. Deep inhale and exhale. While exhaling, we are going to chant Om 3 times. And at the time of chanting Om, just focus on your own chanting, this sound, and how the vibrations move across the body. When we start Om chanting, when it's with O, it's usually the vibrations at the level of the stomach, the digestive region, then flowing through the spinal cord. When we end with M, then it's at the brain level. Just feel that. And if you focus on that, that will bring your mind to silence, good focus. And then we'll do Gayatri Mantra once and come to our subject of today. Deep inhale. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Join the palms together, gently rub them and cover the eyes. Open the eyes below the palms. External light doesn't hit at our eyes directly. So welcome, everybody. Let's go on the subject of today. Sanjayji, can you allow share screen, please? This week, we have had 20th of May, which was the International Day of Bees. As we say, the World Bee Day. Interesting feature about bees. If you've ever seen a beehive, the structured part of it, it's hexagonal. That's an engineering marvel in itself. But World Bee Day is celebrated mainly because bees are essential to our survival. Question is, how are bees important to our survival? They move from one flower to another, carrying the pollen, and they do the pollination of flowers, which goes into the production of food, vegetables, and fruits. That's why bees are essential to our survival, though it's a very tiny creature, probably 1 inch long and a quarter of an inch width, but essential to human life and to life in general. They allow, with the pollination of flowers, food production. They produce fruits and vegetables, and we get the seeds to further propagate. Production of new crops. But bees are essential part of our ecological system. And today, tomorrow for you, 22nd of May is the World Day of Biodiversity. So linking bees with biodiversity teaches us that since bees are essential to our survival, likewise, every single life form in this world is essential to maintain the biological diversity and the balance in nature. And the references are there. There are more than 400 varieties of bees, which was surveyed, according to biological survey, only on the outskirts of Paris. We know of bees, we generally take them to be of one community, but there are 400 varieties of them. And each one has specific functions in the pollination because they go to specific flowers. And the honey that they produce is in fact the food storage for dire seasons. What we do is we extract the honey, and when there are no flowers, we feed them with sugary liquid, with syrup. But the best of honey are those which come directly from the nectar, which they pull from flowers and make the honey natural. That's a very essential component of medicine in terms of treatment of throat problems, cough problems, flu, etc. in Ayurveda. And if you've seen, probably your mom have been doing that. When you get some flu, you get some sore throat, she will give you some honey with some other things. So that's an essential part of life. And this is a natural sweetening agent. And look at the honeycomb, well structured. So the question is, where do they get that knowledge to do that? In a very systematic way. Anybody can reply? Where do they get that knowledge to do that? They are not engineers, they are not architects, but they do that perfectly hexagonal. You have the picture in front of you.
Well, they get the information from their parents or ancestors.
Yeah, from the ancestors. And that was God-given knowledge to all living species to enable them to survive. And this is, there's one word for that in Hindi, which is said nemitic jnana, that is innate or inborn knowledge to them. And if we look at biological diversity, all the other forms of life, they are born with the knowledge that suffice to them for their survival. And it's only humans who don't have the knowledge for their survival, because born as a baby, we depend on our parents. But then we have another advantage, is that we have a brain, a mind, which we can use to acquire new knowledge, and other species don't have. So that shows the marvel of the creation. And from that, we can understand one concept. There should be a supreme force that drives the knowledge into each and every species when they are born, which has given us the brain with the potential to learn further. And that is what we call God, Ishwar in Hindi. Bees also teach us one very important thing. It's called the close knitting of the family staying together. There's one concept which bees adopt. Though thousands of bees are in one beehive, they can identify a bee which is not from the hive and trying to enter that, and they will fight so that it doesn't enter. So staying together as a family, they protect the queen, the bee. The head of the family in the bee is the queen, and she's the one who lays eggs and get new bees. But they are all closely around that queen bee, or mother bee as it is called, protecting all of the small larvas and bees that will evolve out of the cells, the hexagonal cells. And the hexagonal cells also serve as storage of food. And the thing we learn about them also is about, we shouldn't, as we say, deplete all our resources, but there is always tomorrow for which we have to care. So one thing we learned about bees is the engineering marvel, the knowledge that they have, and that is God-gifted knowledge, which is given to all species. Then there's the essential to our survival in terms of pollination of flowers, which enables productions of seeds, flowers, food, fruits, etc. We learned also about the concept of staying together as a family, closely knit. Then they produce the honey to cater for future needs, especially when there are no flowers. They're supposed to live on that honey which they stored. But humans have been using that honey, and in return, they feed the bees on sugary water, so they continue to live. It's only at rare places where the bee comb is just drained and the bees are left to die. That is not to be done. Beekeepers or beehive keepers, which is called apiculture, they always care for the bees by providing them sugary liquid during the time when there are no flowers. Because they are essential to our life, it's our duty to care for them. So that was about the World Bee Day. Avia had something to tell us on bees, and please, can you tell us in your own way how you understand about bees?
Okay, and bees they're like pollinators. So they are pollinators because they have nectar. So when they go to each flower, they collect nectar, and the nectar gets to their fur. When they go to the other flower to collect nectar for themselves, the fur has nectar, and that nectar gets on the flower and makes the flowers grow. And that's what pollinators and bees do.
Good. And how many of you like honey?
I like honey too.
Anybody else?
I like honey.
Yeah, Aryan, that's good. Tejas also, Yash also is good. So kids usually love honey because it's, yeah,
Because they're sweet.
it's yummy. Yes or no? So next time when you are eating honey, just think about them as essential to our survival. Let's go now on mantra part. So we'll do this one. Do one turn of this each. First Gayatri mantra, Trayambakam Yajamahe, and then we'll come to this one. So round of free mantras, each and everybody. So we'll start with Viraj. Gayatri mantra, Om Bhurvasva, then Om Trayambakam Yajamahe, and then the one you have this on the screen. No, Trayambakam Yajamahe first.
Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushti Vardhanam Purvargana Bandhanan Nityam Mukshya Mamrita.
Good. This one on the screen. Okay, Avya, please.
Okay. Om Bhurvasvaha Tasya Viturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushti Vardhanam Urvarkamiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshya Mamritat. Asto ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityurma amratangamaya.
Aryan, please.
Tvameva.
No, we'll do that later.
Okay.
Aryan.
Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukmi Vandana Mrityurmukshya Mamritat. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mrityam Gamaya.
Good. Yash, please.
Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtya Vardhanam Urvarukmiva Vandhanan Mrityurmukshya Mamritat. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritam Gamaya.
Good. This mantra tells us, Asato Ma Sadgamaya. We are praying to God to lead us from untruth to truth. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, from darkness to light. And Mrityurma Mritam Gamaya, from death to immortality. So God lead us from untruth to truth just by being the guide within us, the inner voice which always gives us the feeling of happiness when we are doing good things, and the feeling of fear, shame when we are doing bad things. Just remember, next time when you're doing something which is good, just sense your inner voice guiding you. And when you know you're doing something bad and listen to that inner voice, you'll feel there's a brake that is being applied, but you're just ignoring that brake. So if you go on that inner voice, you'll always move from untruth to truth. You'll always be truthful to yourselves and to everybody around. Then when we are talking, moving from darkness to light, one is we always see sunrise, and in the night we see the moon. That is physical light. But there's also the light of knowledge. When God created this universe, we had the sun, which enabled us to know our environment and get knowledge of what we say, the physical sciences. But God also gave us the knowledge of the Vedas, which is about spiritual sciences. And this is the light of knowledge, the physical sciences and spiritual sciences to live life. Then from death to immortality, there's one concept which is mukti, moksha, in the Vedic Hindu philosophy. Our ultimate goal is, because the soul gets reborn in a new body after death of this present life. And when the soul is reborn, that is rebirth. So mukti is breaking up from that cycle of birth and death. So this is what this prayer is about. Next time when you chant this mantra, just remember it means, oh God, lead us from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. We'll do the round of these two mantras now, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina and Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva. We'll start with Viraj. You'll have it on the screen and I'll be changing the screen for the next mantra.
Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashantu Ma Kasagita Bhagavev.
Next.
Tumeva, Ameva Bandhu, Shasika Tumeva, Ameva Vidya Javanam Tumeva, Ameva Sarvam.
Good. Avya, please.
Okay. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Naramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashyet Dukh Bhag Bhavet. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhush Shasaka Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Javanam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva.
Aryan, please.
Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashantu Ma Kashyet Dukh Bhag Bhavet. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva.
The second line.
What?
Start again, you missed the second line.
Oh. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhushcha Saka Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva.
Good. Yes, please.
Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव.
That's good. Thanks, everybody. I'll leave it now to Dhananjay to chant these free mantras, Asatoma Sadgamaya, and then Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina and Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva. He used to that and he sings beautifully. Let's listen to Dhananjay ji with these free mantras.
Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Mritam Gamaya. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukh Bhag Bhavet.
Sabka Bhala Karo.
सबका भला करो भगवान, सब पर कृपा करो भगवान, सब पर दया करो दयावान, सबका सब विधि हो कल्याण। हे ईश सब सुखी हो, कोई न हो दुखारी, सब हो निरोग भगवन, धन धान्य के भंडारी। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। त्वमेव माताश्च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव।
We'll move to the Shanti part, which is the prayers for universal peace. We'll do it as I do in the yogic meditative form. Om Dyo Shanti Antariksham Shanti Prithvi Shanti Apah Shanti Oshadhaya Shanti Vanaspataya Shanti Vishvedeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. That's the closing prayers whenever we sit down for prayers. So we'll take the habit as from next week to chant that as the closing prayers for the program of the day. So thank you, everybody. Have a nice week ahead. And probably it's your last day of the this academic year. So have a nice start on your summer vacation also. Thank you. Namaste ji. Dhananjay ji for the closing.
Thank you everyone for joining today. It was today is the last day for the school, and have a nice summer vacations for everyone. And just for the reminder, we have a weekly satsang tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. to noon, and on Sunday, the spiritual learning program for the adults. You can see our videos and all the other programs on Facebook and YouTube, Hindu Center of Atlanta, and at Gmail, Hindu Center of Atlanta at gmail.com. you can connect with us.